One of the things I've thought about is we have a couple people where their membership has lapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And actually it was, and what my question is if they lapse for a period or two and then reinstate their membership, do they have to use Pathways, or do they still have flexibility because they were a member?
I think they would have to use Pathways because they are considered a new member.
Okay. Yeah, I just wondered because in some cases people have, they've started, say, some advanced manuals and they might be halfway done and they're just kind of, oh, too bad. Too bad.
Yeah, I could ask and see specifically for that, and let me actually write down that.
Yeah, I'd like to know, because that's definitely one of the questions I have. I've been trying to get up to speed because I'm the VP of E and I just got back from 3 weeks of vacation, and I have to admit I've gotten a little, I do have a path, but I'll tell you, I've been a little bit frustrated. Oops.
So what were you frustrated about? I know you said that you couldn't find it.
Well, okay, so here's a good question. So when I on my other computer, I actually have, so one of the frustrations I've had is when I go to Toastmasters International, what's the best way to get to either it's Pathways or Navigator or Basecamp? I've been really frustrated at trying to get there.
All right, I actually
thought it would be easier.
Yeah, I have it up here, so let me share my screen.
Jim's here now too.
Yes, I saw that.
Yay.
So I've already logged on, so you know the steps to log on.
Yeah.
And then you go to Education, and then Pathways.
Learning experience, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And since you've already logged on, you'll see this. And you click Begin Your Journey.
So if I've already begun my journey, it'll oh, okay, so that's what I do.
Then you choose, if, like for me, I have that or Pathways Guides, I believe. For VPEs, presidents, and secretaries, there's also an option to go as Basecamp manager. I'm not sure about that.
So then I could log in as Basecamp manager. Yeah, I think the email we have set up for our Basecamp manager is our officer's email. So I'm hoping that I have no idea how that part works yet, but I don't think very many. Okay, so I go there and so I was afraid that if I began my path that I would start all over even though I had chosen it. So then I use the navigator I would choose myself or another member.
Yeah, it's on myself. That's for your path selection.
Yeah. Oh,
the navigator is the new manual. And so then to get to Basecamp, you log in by clicking your club.
So now what does Basecamp do? How is that different than logging into the content?
So this is Basecamp, and that is how you get into the content. And this is the tutorial. And it'll take you through, and unfortunately.
So you don't use the navigator, you use Basecamp.
Yeah, you use Basecamp. The navigator just helps you to understand what everything, what all the new things are. And then you can go to, and mine looks messy, so just be forewarned, but I'm going to my transcript, and this, when you don't have all of these things from my exploring.
Wow.
This is the curriculum for me. I did innovative planning, and you open that, and that will take you to the content once it decides to open. There we go.
Okay. Oh, and so here's my next question is, can things be done out of order?
Kind of.
Okay.
So for here, I'm still in level 1 because it just started. And as a level 1, I could access all of the
level 1 stuff.
But when you go to level 2, you can't actually click on any of these.
Okay.
Because you haven't started level 2 yet. just like you wouldn't be doing your advanced communicator when you're
Right.
still in your competent communicator.
Okay.
You can still see them. And for like level 3, you can look at the elective projects, which are here.
Okay.
But you can't actually go explore them until you've started.
Completed the level previous, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's level by level. Okay, so here's another question. So for people that have been members already, we get a level free, or I guess I read today, if you're already a dual member, I guess I get two. Is it a path you get for free?
It's a path. So if you are a member, yeah. So if you are a member of
2 clubs, I get already. I get
clubs,
2.
Whatever 2 clubs.
Yeah.
Even if one's online, you will get your first path free like everyone else, and then you get your second path free
just
because you've paid dues for 2 different clubs.
Okay.
And your dues are the thing that covers your path.
Okay. Okay. So now I'm seeing, so this is good because I was trying to complete my path using the navigator, not Basecamp. So that's helpful.
Yeah, and you can actually, let me go back to the home, and I believe you can access the navigator. Never mind, that was in my path. For being a Pathways guide, that was part of our curriculum. But I don't think I think it's just in Toastmasters.org.
Yes. Still, I mean, I'm looking at what mine looks like. Maybe I didn't log into Basecamp right, because mine doesn't look like this.
So what does yours look like?
Well, let's see. I how best to show you? Let's see. That's not going to work.
It looks like you are on Basecamp.
Yes, but so I can click on launch, or maybe it's what I learned earlier today. Maybe whoops, I don't want that. But when I click launch, it takes me to someplace I don't necessarily want to go. I don't know. It takes me to this, your goals, view things, but it doesn't actually show me. I gotta see how to get to that content place that you were at.
Okay, so you went
open
to
curriculum. Open curriculum. Is that what I want? Open curriculum?
Yep. That's what you want.
All right. Somehow but then it just, okay, so it takes me to the things I can see, which are at this point, icebreaker, evaluation, feedback, research, and presentation.
Yep. And that will be your level 1 stuff.
And I should be able to click on any of these to get into them, or?
You should, for the first 3, when you hit launch, it will open it, but you have to make sure you've disabled your pop-up blocker.
Right. And I did that the other day. And I guess that's maybe it's view training details. No, that doesn't give me anything I want. So that's where I'm just a little frustrated because I'm not.
Mark it complete.
Ooh, it's not complete yet, though.
But did you accidentally mark it complete?
No.
No, it still says launch?
In progress, pending prior training, pending prior training, pending prior training. One of the things I discovered today is I actually had it open, but I didn't know it somehow. But this is
it opens in a new window.
Yeah. So that's the thing that's kind of frustrating me the most is that I'm kind of get caught in this loop and I don't seem to be able to get out.
So
details.
Oh, this is not.
Oh, here it is. I don't know if you can see my screen at all. Probably.
It's a little shiny.
It's a little shiny.
Ah, there we go. There. Okay, so I know where you went.
Okay.
I don't like that view, but I know how you got there. So what you would need to do is go all the way to the side, and you can launch from there. But that one makes it way more complicated than.
So where it says launch curriculum player, or?
Yes.
Okay.
That will open it, but it's
Well, so this is what I've been seeing, but I don't know how to open the content.
okay. So it looks like you haven't finished your icebreaker yet.
No, I haven't given the speech yet.
Okay. So that's the only one you'll be able to open for now. It looks like and once you've done that one, then you can go to your next next thing. Like this one, I had to, if you look at my screen,
okay,
I had to open and read the handbook here, which you will not have to do any of this because this is for Pathways. Right. But I had to open and read the handbook before it would let me go on to everything else.
Yeah, and I've actually read a bunch of this stuff. I'm at the point where it's like, okay, schedule your icebreaker. Who knows when that's going to happen? But I'm trying to get up to speed because we have a brand new person to our club, and I don't really know how to guide them. I want to, and it's kind of strange for us because we have some people that have been with Toastmasters for a long time, but we're not. I think the new people are going to end up kind of guiding us, but as the V, I need to know, and I'm willing to muck through it with people, but I don't feel like I've found the best path yet. And maybe because I have two paths available, maybe I should try another one, but maybe part of it isn't, we'll see, maybe Jim has some stuff he wants to ask too, but I think for me, what I would love is, how in the Successful Club series and that sort of thing, there are some little presentations you can give about how to do things, or, about officer role, or, meeting roles, that sort of thing. And what I would love to do is actually for my visual aid speech, I'm almost done with another CC. I'm cutting the old stuff out of the way. I would like to do kind of a do's and don'ts of, pathways, or here's a quick start guide. Here's how to, because I get the feeling that, a lot of people don't even like to log on to their computer or into our website. It's like, okay, everybody, even if you're going to mix and match, or you don't really want to do it the new way, you should log on and make sure that your
look at it,
works. And I think it's cool, and I think it's going to keep Toastmasters alive for a long time. But it's a learning curve for
definitely, which is why we are having these meetings to just make sure that people can see what it's about and how to navigate those stressful issues, like when your pop-up blocker is still on.
Yeah. So I still haven't, the screen that you're showing right now that shows navigating Basecamp, my educational transcript, my feedback, my badges, I haven't seen that yet. Is it because I haven't gotten very far in my path? Or,
no, this is the homepage. So if you go to toastmasters.org.
Okay, let me do that again. Let's just go there. Okay.
And then go to Pathways.
Through education, Pathways learning experience. Right? Begin your journey.
And are you logging in as
I'm logging in as myself, as just me.
Okay, just your home club? Okay. Yep. And then you log in and you should see, this is the first thing you should see.
Yeah, so log in as a member. Let's try that again and see what happens. Okay, so I did get it then. Okay, yay. Oh, and this is where I have open curriculum, so that's where I would go.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Whew. All right, so very good. Okay, I'll quit hogging things for a minute and see if Jim's got anything he wants to say. He's been real quiet. He's just listening.
Jim, have you? There you go.
Yeah, I've been studying the Pathways program here, and I'm having trouble getting the big picture. For example, on speech evaluations, I ran across a very nice form for evaluating,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to figure out that this sounds like the evaluation is to be filled out during the meeting through some kind of a computer hookup, or after the meeting, and it's going to then be incorporated into the person's individual records. But that sounds like a lot of work.
So there's two ways that you can do that. And let me just bring up one of mine, and I can show you what I do. So this is an evaluation resource, and I'm going to just launch it. And you can either fill it out online, or you can print it like you normally do, fill it out with just normally with a pen, and give it to the person who's given the speech. And they can...
Well, that sounds good.
And this one, like you can see right here, you would just type right into...
I'm not seeing it. I'm still on your
Okay, one second. Let me share it again, and we'll see if that brings it up. Oh, good. Ha. There we go. Apparently it doesn't...
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you can literally just type directly in it. And...
So, right, you could type directly in it. So if someone fills it out by hand, then do you somehow have to get it into this format?
You don't have to. It's not necessary, actually.
Okay.
So as long as you have it in your personal possession, you can mark it complete without your speech.
Okay.
Without having to have it
entered.
Yeah.
Right, but you still have to get somehow the VPV or whoever is the Basecamp manager has to bless it for you.
Yeah, well, and after you mark it complete, then an email is going to be sent to whatever email you have listed in TI as your club's email.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so we'll go to all of our officers.
Yeah, and then they're going to say you need to approve this project that so-and-so says is complete.
Right. So will there be a link, or do you just have to know to log in as the Basecamp manager?
I think it's just going to say that it's done, and then once you log in, I have never seen, unfortunately, the Basecamp manager site, but what I can do
requests
is under navigating Basecamp, they have a whole thing on how to do that.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there too.
So excuse me, I'm sorry. After the evaluation is completed on that forum, and it's the fact that it's been completed goes into the system. That is without can be done without all the individual detail. But who enters it into the system after the meeting? Is it the Basecamp manager or the speaker?
The speaker will go back into their transcript and mark their thing complete after they do their survey for the second time. And then the email is going to be sent to the Basecamp manager, who then will say, yes, it's completed.
So
could you repeat that? Could you do that once more, please?
Yep. So I've given my speech, and then I'm going to log on to Basecamp and go into my transcript, so like this. And I'm not actually going to mark anything complete because I haven't completed anything. But I would go into my transcript, and yours definitely will not look this messy. But I would mark, say, this complete, and then an email is going to be sent to the Basecamp manager. And then the base camp manager is going to go in, just like with right now, the VPE signs literally the manuals when you've completed something. That is what they're going to do online, is they're going to say, yes, I approve that they've actually done this.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is, though it might be nice to have the stuff entered online, it doesn't have to be entered online. It just needs to be marked complete, and then the base camp manager needs to approve it. One of the things, and I think the Newport Club kind of suggested this, one of the things we're talking about doing is building a kind of a file library of, say, the evaluation forms or things like that, so that we'll, because I just, and
in case people forget,
well, and they will. And the thing that it just makes me a little nervous is that I don't, depending on what your path is, the things could be different. Or I guess that brings up the other thing about, I did sort of stumble and bumble into being able to print out the icebreaker project and like the evaluation form associated with it, and the kind of what was the other thing? It was kind of like an outline. So I was able to print those things out, but it's a little use this page to find tutorials and resources. Ooh.
Yes. So this is the Magic Money page.
Okay.
So
the Magic Money page. You pay for things here, huh?
No, actually you don't. But this has evaluation resources, and unless your club is in Chinese, English. And here's the evaluation resources for a lot of different
things.
Yeah. It's
Great.
obviously all in order, but you can have speeches like storytelling and social media. So you can just have some of these handy.
Okay.
In case people do these speeches, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And this one I would suggest to print specifically. So this one is the generic one.
Let's see.
So if someone's not doing a specific speech or didn't remember to print that one, you can at least have something. And obviously you can always get on a computer or a phone and get their specific one. But this one will at least give you something.
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
So that's,
would I be correct that the first step is for each member of the club to get into the system and set up their own account?
Well, they actually have one set up for them. TI set up for everyone who's your member, but they have to go in and then choose their path. So that's the main thing everyone needs to do, is go on to toastmasters.org.
Choose their path. Could you pull that up on the screen?
It's funny. I thought somehow just by looking at my user profile that there'd be a link there that I could go from there. Wouldn't that have been nice? Where it says,
but that's just simplifying things too much.
I don't think so.
So when someone logs in, like I am right now, they go to Pathways Learning Experience. And then to begin their journey, this is what everyone will need to do to get to this page, which is how you can choose your path, or you can explore a little bit beforehand. But your club is already on there, and you just have to click log in as a member, and it will take you straight to Pathways.
So that's kind of the key thing, is choosing your path, right?
Yeah, so that you can kind of get what you want done, so you can see all the evaluations and speeches that you will need.
And at that point, you can, when you have a meeting rule, you can enter that. Now, does anybody have to approve if, let's say, I entered that I was the table topic master, Does anybody need to approve or review that?
Let's see if I'm going to go to my account, and this is where you put that in for your meeting rules. And you just have to set a date, and no one has to approve that.
Got it.
Oh, I should have
Okay.
listened when you did what you just did. Could you repeat that whole how you even
Yes,
got
I
here?
can.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So you hover over the gear, and you go to your account, and I can put that up on my blog, which is YB Toastmasters. I put a step-by-step on how to log in there as well, and how to get to Basecamp. And I can do this one as well.
Okay, my account. Oh.
And this for Topics Master, Toastmaster, all of those are here, and you just click your
Cool. Oh, cool. Cool.
The main thing is you just have to remember to save it, because if you don't save it, you're going to have to do it all over again.
Yeah. So I have a question. So is the Basecamp manager able to do that on other people's behalf, or not?
I don't believe so. Unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, goody. Oh boy. Oh well, it's kind of people are going to have to use
on that screen. Could you bring that screen up again? I don't think I saw a speaker on there, and I'm wondering where that goes.
For your speeches, it will be there won't be a speaker on here, but instead there's going to be the speaker in your curriculum. When you give your speeches, it will be directly in your Pathways curriculum. Does that make sense?
Pathways curriculum.
Yep, I can show you where that is.
All right.
Let me go down to transcript. And then scroll all the way down. Mine is innovative planning, and I just hit open curriculum.
Okay.
And this is where all of your speaking roles are going to live.
Mm-hmm. So okay,
that's a little complicated for me to
mm-hmm.
explain to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a person is just giving an ordinary speech.
Mm-hmm.
You know, research your subject or something like that. Is there a generic category for speeches?
So this one, all the speeches are going to be specific, and for researching, there's actually one here, and you would launch it, and I think I'll have to change what it looks like again.
Okay, now is that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but is that because the person has selected a pathway?
Yes.
And that triggers a group of speeches?
Yes.
Based on the person's pathway, is that right?
Yes. So it's like having the advanced communicators where you choose what you want to focus on. That's what this is going to be like.
I see. Okay.
So this speech is, can you guys see that speech that just popped up, or can you only see?
No, I can only see your innovative planning. Just what happens to me when I click on these things and I don't
there we go.
Anything changed. It's like, what is it?
So this is the topic one. And to look, this is your introduction, and it'll talk all about how you need to research, what you need to do for that specific speech.
Yeah, and you can page through it. Yeah.
And then you can get all the way to your evaluation. Here is your evaluation resource for whoever is going to be your speech evaluator.
Yeah.
As well as the speech outline.
You get this for each speech in your pathway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
It is. So I have a question. How does, like, in the past we had the communication stuff and the leadership stuff. And
now it's all together.
okay, so these things like being a counter and Toastmaster, and how does that play in? Do we get credit for that somewhere? Or
there are some projects that will require you to be a Toastmaster or a Topics Master before you can complete like that project. So before, and I haven't gotten to those yet. Oh, actually, yes, I have. Let me go back to.
So what if you like did that already like last week? I mean, that's what concerns me a little bit about not being able to see ahead, because especially in the leadership, I mean, a lot of times people are all over the place. It's like, oh, well, here's the one that's for Toastmaster. I want my credit. You know, who wants to do it 5 times before you get credit?
So let me share this, because I think that might help.
Okay.
Hi, Vicki.
What?
I'm just saying hi to Vicki.
Oh. Hello.
Is Vicki there?
I think she's muted.
She's muted. What club are you from, Jim?
Tail Spinners in Florence.
Oh, all right. Okay. Toast of Corvallis.
And Vicki's in our club, and it looks like she signed in, but maybe I don't know if she's still there.
She might be like me. I had to ask how to get off mute.
Yeah.
Like, can you hear me? No, you can't.
You get an evaluation form for each speech that is in your pathway list.
Yes, and this is one of the projects. This is called Active Listening, and this is one of the leadership projects that is in the path. And this one's specifically for table topics, and you get evaluated, most likely by the general evaluator, and you have to say how the person approached table topics, and if they were listening to what the speakers are saying, or whether they were just going down their list of questions. And so this is an example of what you were talking about for the leadership section, and this one's specifically called Active Listening. Yeah. And this is why writing down on the other screen that we were looking at is important, is because they have to know you were actually the table topics master.
Right.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Again, the only thing I'm concerned about is, you know, I was a table topics master 3 weeks ago, and all of a sudden it's on my path, only I didn't know until now. And so then I would assume I need to do it again, right?
So, yeah. And let me show you one thing that might help with that specifically. I just thought of it. They have on your curriculum most of this. So this is all going to be the Toastmasters and looking at the speeches for these, at least for my path. I don't know what you're going to.
Well, I'm level 1 too, so mine looks pretty much like that, even though I'm the persuasive path.
So this one, you can see the different types of things that you'll be needing to do. And like for this one, it has active listening right here.
Okay.
So that kind of gives you a hint of this one's a speech. This one is presenting yourself at an interview. I think this is a role-playing one, actually.
I'm sorry, I got a little confused with how the active listening relates to table topics.
Because you're supposed to listen to the people who you're asking the question to instead of just asking them and then going to your next question. So what they were focused on for the active listening is you ask someone a question and then you say, thank you for talking about blah, like the beach.
Oh.
And then you go on to the next person.
Oh, so it's not the table topics evaluator.
No, it's
the table topics evaluator, because they're the ones that really demonstrate that they listened because they're evaluating the different table topics.
Mm-hmm.
That was the question I had.
Hmm.
I still don't get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I kind of don't. I all of a sudden don't either. It was a little different than I thought. I guess I wasn't actively listening.
Would you guys like me to open that again so you can look at it?
Well, so that was what it was. It was one of the projects in your path.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to do that specific one. That is actually an elective project for me, and you only have to do 2 of these.
Mm-hmm.
But it might be a required one for, say, dynamic leadership to do that specific one. So for me, it's an elective project, but for another person in a different path, it may be a required project.
Yeah.
On going back to the list of doing different jobs, is participating in table topics one of the things to be entered into the system?
I do not believe so. I believe they're all specific jobs. So let me look.
Good. Okay, good. That would be a little much, but I was just wanted to check.
So I'm still trying to understand what good it does to enter these things. Is it because there are projects that relate to them, or they're just things that need to be done, or?
There are projects that relate to them, and they'll be throughout your levels.
Okay.
So you might not see it at level 1, but at level 2 it will go, oh, you already did this. Congratulations.
Oh, great. Oh, okay. That's why it's important to fill this out. Okay. Fabulous.
Yeah, and obviously I haven't yet, but
it's the cog.
I missed the answer to the question asked previously. Can someone enter the information for somebody else on this screen?
I do not believe
or on
someone else can enter this for you.
So the Basecamp manager can't do it.
I'm sorry, the Basecamp manager can or cannot?
I do not believe they can.
Can we
Good.
find
Okay,
out?
that makes sense.
I can find that out.
Yeah, just double check
So
on
it's
that.
it really is the individual Toastmaster who is responsible for keeping his or her account current with their projects.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that brings up another question on the, say someone decides to go the printed version instead of the online version.
Mm-hmm.
Do they still need to do this part?
They do not.
Okay.
No, everything will be on paper. So they'll have their separate thing, like for our competent leadership, how we have to write in the dates and evaluations.
Right.
They will have a page with, this is the job you need to do, here is the evaluation, and it will be in that book.
Right. And how much does the printed copy cost?
The printed copy costs $25.
Oh, it's $25. So it's just when someone's brand new, if they decide to go with the printed, then they pay an additional $25.
For
they already paid the 20?
So the 20 is for everyone, new or old. They get the $20 for free.
Okay.
And then if you choose printed, it's the 25 extra.
Okay.
But if you choose to do it online, you don't pay anything.
So in other words, if you've gone through one of the paths and now you're going to do a new path, then it will be $20 and 25 or just 25?
Yes. If you're a member of only one club, yes.
So yes to what?
Yes, it will be 45 total.
25 total.
You get the first
45.
So you get the first path for free, is that right?
Yes.
And then for each additional one, it's $20.
Yes.
But
if
you want a printed copy, then is it $20 plus 25 for an additional path?
Yes. If you choose to do the printed version.
So it really does.
Just to do online, it's just 20.
That's why it costs $45, not 25.
Yeah.
Got it.
But I didn't catch the answer there. Could you go over that again?
Yes.
If you
I
do
can.
it, if you select the second path online, does that incur the $20 cost?
Yes.
It does. Okay.
But
And the
if you are a
$25
member of 2 clubs
Already.
already, then it does not.
Yeah, you get 2 paths.
Okay.
But it's
And-
not
and what
retroactive
is-
if you later join a second club. If I understood I did read some of the frequently asked questions.
Yeah, so if you decide right now that you wanted to join a second club, it doesn't help you in that way.
Now the $25 is for a printed manual, is that right?
Yes, and that's for 5 manuals. You get all 5
Right.
manuals.
Well,
with
as the president of my club, I think I ought to have those. How do I get those?
So you would choose your path, and then you'll get those. Unfortunately, you don't get all 5 at the same time.
Oh.
So you get the first, I believe you get the first one, and then you get the second and third, and then the 4th and 5th.
Yeah. You know.
As you complete the projects, is that the idea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, then maybe I don't need the manuals.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I wondered from the beginning of when they were talking about pathways getting nearer is, even though I don't need to know have printouts of all the content, I would love to have a roadmap of each of the paths and know what's going to be expected. And I think for people that are trying to guide others, it's like, here's the unknown. I don't know what you're getting into, but and I just feel like it would be nice to know what projects, what are the requirements for each of the paths without necessarily selecting it.
Yes. 1 second, because there's something that I could give you, but I'm wondering if they have something like that already.
Okay.
All right, I'm not seeing that. So let me look and see if I have it on here. So if I do, that would be dandy.
Because I think that would be helpful, or even I don't know about you guys, Jim, but we have those progress charts from the old way of doing things. So they have something like that for pathways too. You could visually, because we like to have them up at the club so people can see what's going on, not just the base camp.
So I don't think this will show for you guys. It might, but let me see if it will.
Sorry, I'm taking us all over the place, Jim. I'm like that.
All right, let's see if this will do it for you. All right, can you see the levels or no?
Yeah, I see level 1, level 2, level 3.
Okay, so they have that. And then they also have.
But is there something that kind of breaks it out for each of the?
There is that I have, and I'm trying to find it for you.
Somewhere. Well, you don't have to have it at your fingertips now. If you send it to me, I'll be a very happy camper.
So actually, let me send you somewhere else.
Okay.
And because I had that question multiple times.
I bet.
And you are seeing it good. So this is my blog. This is where I suggest you go. Because I have how to get to pathways.
Oh.
Click by click.
Oh. Awesome.
And motivational strategies, what it's about.
Uh-huh.
leadership development and
look
what
at
it's about.
you. Awesome.
And
Can I print this?
you can print from mine. Yes, you can.
So you
And let
probably
me show
shared this
you.
blog with us already, and I just don't know it.
It's the secret blog.
Blogspot.
All right. Let me see. Ha! This is what you're looking for right here.
Oh my goodness.
Step
Yes.
by step by step.
Woohoo!
All of the things you're
How do-
asking for.
That's what I want.
How do I print that?
So to print this,
Copy paste it somewhere.
well, you can do that, but I
Well,
thought
could you just, Laura Lee, could you email that to
I
me?
can. And this is how it would look like if you printed it. It may look a little funny.
Might have
Yeah,
to-
it'll look a little funny that way.
You know what you sometimes can do is sometimes, not always, you can highlight things and
Oh yeah,
select-
yeah, you
select
can
the
highlight
brand
and print
and
this. Just like that.
find
Right.
it works in everything, but it
Right.
works in a lot of things.
So you could do that. And I can send you these. I don't have
Oh,
all
yeah.
of them up yet,
Hmm.
but I do have dynamic leadership. And let me see what this one is.
I mean, because we have no idea what people are gonna.
Yeah,
up
this
with,
is
do we?
this is the paths that show
Uh-huh.
what they're about, but it doesn't show the detailed.
What are these numbers like where it says 1, 2,
This?
4? Yeah.
Let me blow that up for
They
you.
all say
This
1, 2,
is-
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, this is what it's focused on. One, it's whether it's presentation. There was all these certain numbers that really don't matter that much.
Oh, okay.
5 is confidence, but you know, it really didn't matter that much. What you're wanting is stuff like this,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
it's literally.
I mean, it still doesn't necessarily tell you what's going to be required or whether it's a speech or a
Mhm.
activity, but at
But
least it gives an
gives you
idea.
ideas, yeah.
Yeah.
And like this one requires a high performance leadership project, whereas dynamic leadership, I don't believe it did.
Oh, interesting. Wow. I
Yeah,
wonder what.
that one doesn't. You need to. Oh, yes, it does. Oh no, that's an elective. Okay.
Okay.
Lead in any situation. So that culminates in you going out, taking a project, and doing it,
Mm-hmm.
versus a high performance leadership project where it requires you to do certain things for it.
Interesting.
So it at least gives you some idea of what you're looking for.
So here's a silly question. So right now we have things like CC and CL and ACB and blah blah blah, all that. So
You want to know the alphabet soup?
what kind of credential will we get? Will we just be called a level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or will it be
Kind of. Yes. You would be known, if you are dynamic leadership, you would be known as DL level 1 or DL level 2. And if you're
okay.
doing,
So I'd be a
dynamic
persuasive so-and-so, huh?
yes, if you're doing dynamic leadership and effective coaching at the same time, and your effective coaching is at a level 2 and dynamic leadership is a level 1, you would be known as ECL2.
Okay.
That's whoever's the highest.
That would mean so much to my employer.
Yes.
Laura Lee, I'm afraid my battery is going on my cell phone. I don't have a microphone on my computer, so I'm on the telephone. If you could email me
I can do
your
that.
YB Toastmasters things, that'd be wonderful.
I can definitely do that.
I
I will write that down to email you.
Hate to trouble you, but that'd
No.
be a huge help. 'Cause we're
I totally understand. And I have this,
good.
the first video, the first one of these that I did, I have that on YouTube and on this as well, and I can email you that.
That would be
link.
splendid.
And
That would be just great.
oh,
Maybe
here it
I
is,
could
right here.
run that in maybe I could run that at an officer meeting.
Yeah.
You can
Well,
do
and
that.
you're-
Here's the tour right here. And I go through how to get all the way through the base camp. So you can watch that and see
Got it.
how that works.
Well, and you had something on your
That's
blog
super.
also that was just kind of the steps.
Yep. I have the steps and I have questions and answers that I've got as well on here.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to excuse myself. Lorelei, thanks for all your work on this, and the Zoom thing seems to work really well. I've never
Yeah.
used that before. So
Well, I'll be doing
this
another
is-
one on the 20th.
this has been a great help to me, and I have a lot of study to do, obviously, but
Me
I
too.
want to get our group going. So we'll take it from there. And again, goodbye to all, and I understand that I can communicate questions to you on email.
Yep.
If that comes up, good.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah, this is,
well, I'm going to sign off then. Thanks, everybody, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
All right. Have a good night.
yeah. Well,
Okay,
well,
thanks.
well,
Okay, bye-bye.
yeah, this is amazing. You have a day job too? How do you do all
And go to
this?
school.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you for all the work that you put into this, because this is just amazing. And,
And I think we have
October 11th.
several more of these that kind of walks you through what it's about. And you can also, when you choose your path,
Uh-huh.
you can at least look at some of the different paths beforehand. It will show you a whole table and you can explore them.
Yeah.
But I think with the breakdown, it kind of helps you get an idea of
Yeah.
what all of those are.
I kind of liked when I was going through the choosing, they take you through a little questionnaire, and there were kind of 3 areas, and it kind of gets down to, well, what thing is going to help you the most right now. And
Yeah.
so, but I guess for me, technically, because I already belonged to 2 clubs, I could start a second path. So
But and you don't have to work on that until you want to.
Okay.
So you can have a path or 2 paths and still work on the traditional program.
Oh yeah.
For the 3 years, or
Yeah.
that I'm guesstimating is going to be,
Yeah.
and you can work on both sides of this.
Yeah. And I guess it's like right now I just finished my Communicator Silver, I think last 2 months ago. And then I just have a little bit, like I've actually completed my CL, but I can't get another one until after November 16th. And I have one more speech on my CC. So I think even though I have more of the advanced manuals, because when I completed my first CC, there was a big discount if you buy all of the advanced manuals. So I have them all. But I've gone through a lot of them. So I'll probably at that point primarily switch over to Pathways, because I feel like I need to lead the way, and the only way I'm going to be able to do that is by doing it. And like I say, the stuff looks pretty cool. It's just a little frustrating getting out of the chute. So I'm not a great direction reader, but I think of myself as being technically savvy, but maybe not as much as I thought. We'll see. I think the big hurdle will be getting people to launch into the new. I know when you guys came and gave the presentation to the club, the people that were relatively new to the club were really excited about this. So that's why I say I think some of our newer members are really going to help lead the way, and boy, I'm going to let them. But so yeah, so I think as long as I have the link to your blog, and this was very helpful. Now, other people from the club, can advertise these, and they can come to them, or would you prefer to kind of focus it on
Well, if you want to do one of these with your club specifically, like if you want me to zoom into your club and answer questions, I can do that. And that might be more helpful to you guys so that you guys can think about all your questions and then come to one with just your club. These are normally for just the club officers.
Okay.
But I can do one of these for your club. I've done one for Mime Speaks as well, and they found that very helpful.
Yeah.
So if you guys are having some issues, or if you just have some questions, I can do one of these. I just can't do one of these while I'm in class.
No. Yeah, no, I think what we'll do is I'll try to get up to speed so I can guide people along. What I've been thinking about doing is setting up, kind of some quote unquote office hours before, like half hour before or half hour after the meeting, and just kind of bring a computer and powwow with people and help them get set up. Especially I'm mostly concerned about people that are brand new, because this is what they're used to.
And one thing that's definitely been a question in my club, they are not going to receive a packet in the mail.
Nope. No packet in the mail.
They're going to have it all online if they chose online. If they chose in print, they'll get stuff.
Yeah.
But if they chose all online, it's just going to be on here, so they don't need to wait.
So if they're a new member and they choose to do the print, it's only an additional $25, or is it?
Yes.
And but then if they want to do the next path that way, it will be $45.
Yes.
Got it.
Because their dues cover the base path.
Right, and is it like it covers the whole path?
Yes, all 5 manuals. They'll get all 5 for.
That's actually a pretty good deal.
The $20.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and that will get them to the equivalent of their ACB and ALB. That's the equivalent of what that will get you. And the second path gets you to DTM.
Wow. Ooh. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's the 2 paths, and it's about 30 speeches-ish.
Okay.
But it depends on what path they choose.
Yeah, well, and it's also, it's not just speeches, it's all the other stuff that goes along with it. Yeah, and it's like I say, I think this to me will keep Toastmasters relevant and alive going forward, because I'm sure that some of the younger people that join Toastmasters are kind of like, really, this is kind of stodgy, the old way anyway. So I don't know, some of us have grown to love it, but I like to learn new things, so I'm excited. I was funny with work the other day where we had a presentation about change management in the state. As people go through, I'm like, oh yeah. So I got to get people excited about what's in it for them.
Yeah,
but here you only got, what is it, 68 things you can learn, and with pathways, there's so much more. And, and you got to use the computer anyway. So that'll be the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
All right.
If you have any questions, you can just email me your questions.
Okay. Thanks so much for being willing to help us out. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for joining.
Good night. Bye.